It used to be when we were young. We had hopes, we had dreams, we had goals. And we set out in life to achieve these goals. And a lot of us achieve them. We achieve our goals, and then somewhere around our 40s, 50s, or 60s, we quit setting goals for ourselves. We become comfortable in what we have achieved, and we no longer dream. And this is one problem I lately have found myself in, and I don't want to be that way. Because I think when we stop dreaming, when we stop setting goals for ourselves, challenging ourselves, I think we set ourselves up for a very short life, because dreams keep people alive. Goals. I see this more now than ever. And the problem today is there are people having kids, parents, and people having kids that shouldn't be having kids. They don't have their own lives in order, or even a clear path before they start having kids. And when these kids are born, well, they're born into either poverty, they could be born into drug abuse situations, or just born to parents that just weren't ready or should have been parents in the first place. These parents will teach these kids that this is their life. It doesn't get any better. Don't need to go to set no goals. This is as good as it gets. And so you have a generation of kids growing up with no dreams, no hopes. Most of the time, they're not even aware they could be anything they want to be, but they have to work at it. They're not taught how to work for these things. This is becoming a huge problem, and it plays into everything, the way younger people think today. It plays into violence. It plays into all the criminal things that are going on, but it also plays into a huge collapse in morals, ethics. People just don't care anymore because, well, they never were given any kind of goals in life. They weren't taught that you have to work hard to achieve these things. I found myself kind of caught up in that. Now, I moved here almost 13 years ago. My goal was to find a place in the country and fix it up. Have a little bit of land, not a lot, a little bit of land, fix it up. And I went after that dream. Okay, I went after that dream. I saw it in my mind. You have to manifest these things in your mind, and I saw it. And I'll be damned if when I looked at this place, it wasn't a lot like what I saw in my dream, and I ended up buying this place very cheaply. And over the years, I've fixed it up, and I've fixed it up, and I've got everything close to the way that I want it. And I found myself out of dreams, out of goals, time and time again, and I'd catch myself there, and I'm like, no, there's more to do. You can't just stop and be comfortable just paying the bills and living in a routine. You have to have goals at any age you are. Because when I look back, man, that was 2012. That wasn't that long ago. And I've achieved all these things in that short amount of time. What could I achieve in the next 10, 12 years? So I need to set more goals. I don't necessarily want any more material things. So my goals have to be molded to my lifestyle today. Maybe that's blowing up my YouTube channel, reaching more people, helping out dog shelters more. These are things that I'm also doing. But once we stop dreaming, once we no longer set any goals for ourselves, I think it's close to being over. It really is, because you have to have a human being, the human mind has to have something to do. And when it's out of things to do, when it's trying to just relax, it can't relax. and things start to go wrong with your health. Things go wrong in your mind. I think staying busy is very important to keeping things away that eat our minds up later on in life. And a big problem is the way, how comfortable we get these days. Comfort becomes our biggest cage. You get these new TVs, everything. You fill your home with all these material items and you feel comfortable. Comfort is seductive. It tricks us into thinking we're done, and we're not done. We shouldn't be done. The predictable life, it makes people feel safe. And as I sit here looking at projects that haven't been finished in my cabin and outside, I know I'm not done. But I got all these comfort items inside my computers, my radios, and things that make my life comfortable, my heaters. It's cozy in here. So I tend to sit in here more than I should instead of being out working. Today I have an excuse. We got an ice storm coming. It's not going to be bad, but I got an excuse. I'm not dragging out tools. So I have other things planned for today. And comfort kills the imagination. It just makes the brain stale. And I do have several goals that I want to do. Now, everybody's goals, everybody's dreams are different. A lot of people my age are like, yep, let's get everything paid off and then let's go travel. Let's go see the world. Well, that's not my dream. My dream is to make where I live, my little 2 acres, my vacation. And it has been. It has been a lot of work, but it's been my vacation. I think if I were to go anywhere today, get on a plane and go maybe go, Vegas wouldn't even be a thing anymore. I would have no desire. But if I were just to go to somewhere, any other place than here, I don't think I would be there very long and I'd want to be home. Because I've made it that comfortable. I've made it that enjoyable for myself that it's just where I want to be. Now, little day trips I do have in the plans. And that's all you really need is just a one tank trip. That's what there used to be a show called One Tank Trip. And you just go as far as you can drive in a day and get back in a day. Those help, relax you and, they might fulfill a little bit of that dream. But society keeps after us a lot, especially with older people. They tell us to slow down, act your age. You don't need that at your age. As I ride e-bikes around my yard and try to pull wheelies, I don't listen to those people. You should be grateful for what you have. Things people say to each other. And so those kind of things, when you tell people, well, they figure, well, I guess I do have enough. I don't need to dream anymore. I don't need to have hopes, goals. I think one important thing to do and to remember is you might have reached all your goals in life, and you're not a selfish person. You don't want many more things. But there are many things you can still do that can fulfill that emptiness. I help out dog rescue. I do things, fundraisers. I help, I don't really do the fundraisers, but I'm giving them things to do fundraisers with, and that kind of gives me a goal. Okay, I may not need anything else. I may not want to build anything else, but I can use that energy to help organizations, to help other people, to teach people. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I don't necessarily need to do work for these people, just maybe guide somebody the right direction. That's a scary thought. If you would have told me, I would have said that 10 years ago, I would have laughed at you. Me guide somebody? And being content isn't the same thing as being finished. You can love your life and still want something new to chase. I guess all I'm trying to say is, if you need to constantly set goals. You need to constantly have dreams. You may not accomplish all of them. Nobody ever does accomplish all their dreams. But I think the fact that you're having them, just having them, and maybe working a little bit more towards that goal, extends our life quite a bit more, because it gives us something to look forward to. I think when our time finally comes, we're in our last hours, we know it. We know we're done. But is your goals over then? Maybe you want the next life, the afterlife. So you always should have some sort of goal. Even if you're dying, you still need a goal. Better yourself here so that maybe you'll go there. But today, too many young people have such bad attitudes. I see it all the time in comments. People just give up. Oh, you guys, and they hate my generation. They hate my parents' generation. We have destroyed this world for them, is what I hear this all the time. And you just want to smack them, because they've already given up. They don't realize that every generation has to deal with something that the previous generation has done. You either have to fix it or improve on it, or don't do it no more. Nothing gets done by complaining about it and just sitting there and doing nothing. And their generation and the generations after them, they're going to have to work hard to correct mistakes my generation might have made, or my parents' generation. We all make mistakes. That's being human. I don't know if they will ever be able to, if they don't change their attitudes right now, they're just building themselves a horrible, horrible future. And that's not good. But these kids need to be taught. You know, if the parents have no dreams and the parents never set any goals for themselves, the kids are going to end up the exact same way. So one of the most important things in life is setting goals, having dreams. When you quit having dreams, you're done. You're done. You have nothing left to live for. And you have a whole society of people like that today. Their lives have become so tough. They just don't. Dreams is like a luxury item, okay? And you're never going to pull yourself out of the hole if you don't have dreams and you don't have goals. It could be something as simple as paying off a electric bill that's too high and you can only pay a certain amount. Well, you just pay that, make sure you pay that certain amount until it's caught up. But people don't do that. People don't do that today. They won't pay the bill. They'll get their electric cut off and they'll buy something else. And the mindset is just so out there today. Let me know what you think. But I think a big part of the problem in society is that people just quit dreaming. And we find ourselves doing this when we reach a certain age. You know, I acquired my property and all these comfort items that make me comfortable, so there's no more need to dream, is I guess what my mind told me. And you have to catch yourself doing this and ask yourself right now, what are your dreams? Do you even have any dreams? Whatever age you are. I do think they really creep, you know, they fade away when you get older. You can't let that happen. They don't have to be huge dreams. Hey, you're going to put a little pond out in the backyard. And that's your plan. Go out, get the shovel, dig 2 scoops, and go back in the house. You've started that pond. The next day, you're like, okay, man, let's go do 5 shovel loads today. Before you know it, you've got the hole dug for that pond. It's time to order a liner and a pump. Next thing you know, you got you a koi pond. And you get online, and you see that them damn fish is like $250 a piece, and you're like, well, I'm going to get the plastic wind-up ones or the rubber duckies. They'll still give you pleasure. And you ain't got to feed them. Okay? So you've set a small goal and you accomplished it. And somewhere during that goal, you got knocked down a little bit, but you figured it out. Plastic rubber ducky. I like rubber duckies. There's just something about them makes me happy. Yeah. Thanks for watching, folks. Happy trails.